So, you would have done the hard work and completed your written assignment, only to hear from your teacher, make it more interesting. What? How? But if you stay to the end of this video, you might be able to steer clear of this comment from your teachers. To avoid this comment, one of the things we have to do is work on improving our use of adjectives and adverbs. In other words, to make our writing more interesting, we have to improve our use of modifiers. So, in this lesson, we will identify modifiers. Naturally, when we want to show difference, emphasis, or shades of meaning, we knowingly or unknowingly depend on adjectives and adverbs. Therefore, in this lesson, we are going to build on your knowledge of adjectives and adverbs for making more accurate and more exciting comparisons. What exactly are modifiers? Modifiers are words, phrases, or clauses that describe in a sentence. To be more specific, a modifier is either an adjective or an adverb. Adjectives modifies nouns, and adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. For example, Tony bought a sugar cake yesterday. Here, a is an article that modifies the word cake, and the word sugar is the direct adjective of the word cake. So, both the words a and sugar are adjectives that modifies the noun cake. The word yesterday announces the time of the action, that is, the verb bought. So, yesterday is an adverb that modifies the verb bought. Phrase modifiers. Sadie, the president's daughter, is very sick. Here, the phrase, the president's daughter, modifies the noun, Sadie. In this phrase, the president modifies the noun, daughter. But the whole phrase itself becomes an adjective when it modifies the noun, Sadie. Another adjective, sick, is modified by the adverb, very. Generally, modifiers are two types according to their position to the words they modify. There are pre-modifiers and post-modifiers. Pre-modifiers. Pre-modifiers are modifiers that modify the words that follow them in the sentence. Conventionally, adjectives are usually placed before nouns. So, most adjectives are pre-modifiers. Articles, determiners, demonstratives, proper adjectives, descriptive adjectives, compound adjective, participles, and some others are the adjectives that come before the nouns they modify. Look up these. Adverbs are often placed before the words they modify. Conjunctive adverbs, sentence adverbs, and some other adverbs can work being placed before the verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs they modify. For example, generally, the brown dogs were nice. The adjectives before the noun dog are pre-modifiers. Post-modifiers are modifiers that come after the word they modify. Customarily, adverbs come after the verb and modify them. However, some adjectives also come after the noun and modify them. Most of the adverbs of time, manner, and place or direction usually come after the verb they modify. Appositives, prepositional phrases, infinitives, dependent clause, and more usually come after the noun they modify. For example, Ronaldo, the captain of Portugal's team, plays exceptionally well. The phrase after the noun Ronaldo and the adverb after the verb plays are post modifiers. Modifiers allow writers to take the picture they have in their heads and accurately transfer it to the imagination of readers. Patrick dropped his phone on the floor. Poor Patrick, who just wanted a quick snack to get through the church service, accidentally dropped his spoon on the floor, gasping with disgust as a bug crawled out of his egg ball, a sight which would never allow him to purchase another snack from the lady across the road. Identifying adverbs can sometimes prove a little challenging, so remember, many adverbs end in ly, but not all of them do. A few common adjectives also end in ly. Therefore, you cannot tell whether a word is an adjective or adverb simply by looking for the ly ending. To determine whether a word is an adjective or an adverb, determine how the word is used in the sentence. Take a look at these two examples. If a word in the predicate modifies the subject of the verb, it is an adjective. If it modifies the verb, it is an adverb. In other cases, linking verbs are followed by predicate adjectives. That performance was powerful. The predicate adjective powerful follows the linking verb was and describes the subject performance. Note, some verbs can be used as either linking verbs or action verbs. As action verbs, they may be modified by adverbs. For example, when we asked whether to turn right or left, Greg looked blank. Blank modifies the noun Greg, which makes it an adjective. While in the sentence, Greg looked blankly at the sign, blankly modifies the action verb looked, which makes it an adverb. Beware of good and well. Good is an adjective. It should be used to modify a noun or a pronoun, while well should be used to modify a verb. For example, Clara's voice sounded very good to me. Good modifies the noun voice, and Clara sang the national anthem very well. Well modifies the verb sang. Good should not be used to modify a verb, as in Paula does good in all her school subjects. Non-standard. It should be Paula does well in all her school subjects. Standard. Well modifies the verb does. Or the masquerade band can play good. Non-standard. It should be the masquerade band can play well. Standard. Well modifies the verb can play. Well may be used either as an adjective or an adverb. As an adjective, well has two meanings: in good health or satisfactory. For example, Romel is well today, meaning in good health. Well modifies the noun Romel. Or all is well, meaning satisfactory. Well modifies the pronoun all. Note, feel good or feel well means different things. Feel good means to feel happy or pleased, and feel well means to feel healthy. Comparison of modifiers. The two kinds of modifiers, adjectives and adverbs, may be used to compare things. In making comparisons, adjectives and adverbs take different forms. The specific form that is used depends upon how many syllables the modifiers have and how many things are being compared. Adjectives. This building is tall. No comparison. This building is taller than that one. One compared with another. This building is the tallest one in the world. One compared with many others. Adverbs. I ride frequently. No comparison. I ride more frequently than she does. One compared with another. Of the three of us, I ride most frequently. One compared with two others. Then there is the degree of comparisons with modifiers. The English language has 3 degrees or forms of adjectives and adverbs that are used to make comparison. These 3 degrees are positive, comparative, and superlative. There are 3 different ways a word may change form to indicate the comparative and superlative degrees. 1. ER or EST may be added to the end of a word. 2. More or most may be added to the word. Or 3. The word may assume an entirely different form. Let's look at some examples. Adjectives. Quick, quicker, quickest. Pleasant, more pleasant, most pleasant. Bad, worse, worst. Adverbs. Slow, slower, slowest. Pleasantly, more pleasantly, most pleasantly. And badly, worse, worst. Adjectives and adverbs can be regular or irregular, depending on how their comparative and superlative degrees are formed. The comparative and superlative degrees of most adjectives are formed regularly. 2 rules govern the formation of regular modifiers. The first concerns modifiers of 1 or 2 syllables, and the second concerns modifiers of 3 or more syllables. Most 1-syllable modifiers form the comparative degree by adding ER and the superlative degree by adding EST. For example, meek, meeker, meekest. Cold, colder, coldest. Dry, drier, driest. Most 2-syllable modifiers form the comparative degree by adding ER or using more, and form the superlative degree by adding EST or using most. For example, simple, simpler, simplest. Easy, easier, easiest. Often, more, more or most often. Modifiers that have 3 or more syllables form the comparative degree by using more and the superlative degree by using most. For example, delicate, more delicate, most delicate. Creative, more creative, most creative. Carefully, more carefully, most carefully. To show a decrease in the quality they express, modifiers form the comparative degree by using less and the superlative degree by using least. For example, safe, less safe, least safe. Expensive, less expensive, least expensive. Without modifiers, sentences would not be fun to read. Carefully chosen, well-placed modifiers allow writers to depict situations with much more accuracy. Until we meet again, and if the means allow, rewatch, like, and share the video.